Welcome to the Queens on Decks, where I interview female DJs from around the world. I am Michelle Miller, your host of the Royal Queens Rising podcast. We share our inspiring stories and secrets to our success.
Hi guys, welcome to Way Out Radio. My name's DJ Paula Frost, as you know, London-based DJ, and just recently released my EP Orbit, and you can catch me on the radio every Thursday. And today we've got a very special guest with us. It's DJ RunDat, and we're interviewing her from California, and she's been a very successful DJ for over 10 years now. We've got loads to talk about, and she also mentors other female DJs from around the world. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. I know that you are really busy with your own YouTube channel and you interview a lot of other DJs. So it's good to turn the microphone around and ask you some questions.
Yes, I actually really enjoy being on the other side of the interview.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's just start with how you got going, really. I mean, so your husband is called DJ Just One, and he showed you your first few moves on the decks. So where did you go from there?
Yeah, well, from there, after following him around any event that I could go to, I started to throw my own family dance parties at my daughter's school. It was a community dance party to raise money for her music department at her school. And then I started getting private gigs for kid parties, 40-year-old birthday parties, 80s theme parties, community events like the Easter egg hunt, arts fairs, all kinds of different things. Reggae on the River, which was like my happy place for most of my life, where I really
Yeah.
fell in love with music and got exposed to so much music. I worked my way up to actually being an MC at Reggae on the River and a DJ, so that was amazing.
That's so cool. I mean, there's so many things to like run off on there, but I just want to quickly ask you about the MCing. I mean, how did you develop your MCing talents?
Oh, honestly, I just said yes. I knew that they wanted more female energy on the stage as far as MCs. It had been talked about. It was something I thought I wanted to do. I wanted to try. I wanted to challenge myself, step out of my comfort zone. It was very scary, but it's just something that develops. And through doing my interviews for the last 2 years, it's helped me build confidence in my voice and in speaking and being, on camera. I think it really started there, building the confidence, and DJing weddings where you get to MC, make a lot of announcements, and then that helped me build the confidence to get on the mic more while DJing, like in a club environment. So
Yeah.
it was all of those things combined, and I really just like to challenge myself. So I asked to be an MC, and it was something, like I said, had been talked about already. So they were like, yeah, let's have her. And they helped me. They kind of coached me through it a little bit, and I got some tips from the veterans, the ones who have been doing it for 35 years. And so yeah, and it's something I'm still developing.
Excellent. So you mentioned earlier that you played this reggae festival and like reggae comes up quite a lot. So tell me, like, is that one of your passions? Is that the kind of music that you were really into before DJing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I live in Humboldt County, Northern California, and we're famous for Reggae on the River, a musical festival that had been focused mostly on Jamaican music. And we have a community center that has hosted reggae music my whole life. So when I was a little girl, I was on stage dancing with Rita Marley, Bob Marley's wife. All the Sons came to town once they started singing, the Ghetto Youth Crew. And so reggae music has always been in my life. And then 14 years ago, when I became a mom, I decided to start my clothing line, which was reggae inspired. My first design said, I love reggae.
Excellent. So, yeah, I wanted to talk a bit about you as a businesswoman. So, you had your clothing line since 2005, Royal Roots, and you started screen printing and selling at concerts. Is that right?
Yeah, that was my way of staying in the music scene while being a mom and not having mom guilt. I created a job where I could use the clothes.
That's excellent. I like that idea. So, tell me a bit about those times and what it was like for you doing that.
Yeah, so it was a lot of work, and I did every aspect of the clothing business. I picked out the clothes, I picked out the designs, I hand screen printed them in my kitchen. When I first started, I would use water-based ink and I would have an ironing board and I'd do everything right in my kitchen. Um, and then I reached out to my friends to sell the clothes and they supported me, and I would spend more money into the clothing. And then I reached out to the festivals and started vending at the festivals, and any concert that came to town, I would figure out who was in charge, who was the promoter, the producer, and I would ask to set up a booth. And I made really, really good money doing that for a lot of years. And that was all while I still wanted to DJ, but it wasn't like the right time yet. But I had made all these connections from in my 20s. I was supporting reggae clubs in the Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland, and I would pass out flyers because I just wanted to be involved with everything. I always just wanted to have a role, be a part of it. Like for Reggae on the River, I volunteered when I was younger and worked my way up to having a booth, being a sponsor, being a DJ, being an MC. So it's just been a whole part of my journey is reggae music, entrepreneurship, now DJing, which funny thing, I don't play a whole lot of reggae anymore because I've gone into private events, and
Yeah.
a lot of private events are a lot of different musical styles. Sometimes I get lucky and I've had, like a Jamaican wedding and that was awesome.
Yeah.
But really, I play whatever anybody wants to pay me to play, like from a biker rally playing classic rock and roll for 3 days to EDM festival playing my mashup of styles, which really has developed into something of my own, a mix of reggaeton, dancehall, future dancehall, pop dance, tropical house. Like I just like to mash it all up these days.
Oh, that sounds epic. So, I've got loads of questions now. Um, so, when did you realize that? Oh, so first of all, I want to ask, so do you work with any agencies or do you have any help on the booking side, or is it all just your own thing?
No, it's all just my own thing. It's
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah, it's my own thing. We are in a very small community here, and I pretty much play everything, everywhere. If you
Nice.
need a DJ, you know that DJ RunDat can run that. Like, I'm the one DJ in our little community that, can play all those genres and enjoys it too. And I'm willing to work with the kids and do the community events and do the nightclub, open up for the concerts, play the festivals. So like I
Yeah,
really just do it all on my own. And one of my biggest secrets, but is networking and then just asking
yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Hey, you need opening DJ for, that Collybud show? I'm your girl.
Definitely. No, that's really cool. It's really good to hear because I think a lot of people lack the confidence to do that sort of thing. And like, that's half the battle. I mean, a lot of musicians end up waiting around for somebody to like tell them you can go on tour or you can write an album when really they should just be DIYing it.
That's how I learn is by experience. So I just learn by doing.
Yeah. So, how did you come up with your name?
So before I even started DJing, I wanted to DJ since high school. And once I started really listening to a lot of dance hall in the 90s, I would hear them say run that all the time in the songs, and I just loved it. And there was a movie called Third World Cop, and in the soundtrack there was a song, and it's like, we run things, things not run we, everything we do we have to do properly. And I just like loved that, like run things, we run things. And I had my little crew of girls, and we go out to the reggae clubs, and it was like, we run things, we were sassy, we were young, we're like, we run things. So I named myself RunDat. I have probably 20 nicknames, but out of all of them, RunDat was the one that I really, loved and stuck with, and that's the one I named myself. So that's how I came up with it. It is Jamaican, and it was influenced by the amount of like reggae dancehall that I was listening to all day, every day for years.
Amazing, amazing. So, like you started throwing your own community family dance parties because a lot of DJ events are like over 18 only, and you wanted to combat that and have the kids there. So tell me about how that started and how that's going.
Yeah, so for years, my husband being a DJ, also my daughter, she really wanted to come to the parties with us, and not all of them were kid friendly. Maybe half of them were, and so I came up with the idea. Well, let's throw one for you. Let's throw a dance party for you. And they had been cutting, money for the arts departments in the schools for a while there, and so we're like, let's make it a fundraiser. And it was such a success, such good feedback. The kids had a ton of fun. So we kept doing them, and that actually got me a lot more work. That right there helped me expand into those private parties, which were really good pay, and then into the weddings. So graduation parties, prom, like it just blew up from there. And currently, we're not allowed to throw parties, so we don't have anything going now. But one thing I'm really passionate about is introducing children to music and dance early, because I remember some of my first concerts when I was maybe 12 years old and feeling a little awkward, like don't know how to dance or a little self-conscious. But like if you get them started early, then hopefully they'll get over any of that, and they'll just like embrace the music and just get into it and not worry about what anyone else thinks. Usually they just run in circles.
Yeah, definitely. No, I know what you mean. I think like as a around age 10 and under, it's the running in circles or pogoing on the spot, and then after that it's just like standing in the dark when they become a teenager.
Yeah. My daughter's sixth grade graduation, I DJ'd that one, and that was the wildest like group. I was like, watch out, world, because this group, they love to dance. They have a lot of energy. But yeah, you never really know what you're gonna get with the school dances.
Excellent. Yeah, no, totally. So California seems like an amazing place to DJ. I mean, how far out do you go?
So I've mostly just done Northern California. I've done some weddings in Napa Valley. I got to DJ at a winery in a wine cave. So that was really interesting, the sound in a cave. I've been to do a couple weddings on the Sonoma coast. So that's about 3 hours away from me. Um, I, last 4th of July, we did a beach party in Marin County on the ocean. That was so much fun. So that's about how far I go. I've DJ'd down in Southern California only a couple times. I did like a 40th high school reunion. My network is huge. I have friends and family, friends that are now family all over California and now into the world after doing my online show, interviewing the female DJs. I've been connecting, with everybody all over the world. So, but for the most part, as far as my DJing and traveling, it's mostly been Northern California. And that was because my son was young. He's almost 8 now. So it's like easier to travel around now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you
I'm
got
ready.
to put the family first. So I really want to ask you about how I got introduced to you, which is through the Facebook group for girl DJs. And you've got over 1,000 members. It's a really great idea and it seems like really successful. So tell me about how that came about.
Sometimes I feel like I am just the luckiest person in the world. Like I have really good luck. And I don't think it's because I think I put a lot of energy out there, and I want to build community, and I love connection. And with the Facebook group, I only a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, is when I started learning like, oh, there's DJ groups. Okay, cool. Oh, there's a big world of DJs. Well, let's get to know them. Let's connect. And it was when I wrote my book, and I wanted to spread the word about my book. So I joined all these Facebook groups. And one day, that particular group, the female DJs group, the admin asked, hey, I'm looking for some people to help me moderate the group. And I was like, me, I would love to. I'm on a mission. Like, and she, and we started talking, and we had one mutual friend, which they had met at like a Dirty Bird camp out, like some festival. It was really funny. And then she added me, but she accidentally made me the admin. And and then I messaged her. I said, I want to know more about your group so I can moderate, and like what's, your whole mission with the group and the vibe. And she goes, I accidentally made you the admin, and I'm okay. You can have the group, because I told her I'm on this mission, support female DJs, and build this community. And she's like, you can have the group. And I was like, oh my goodness, like a 550 person DJ group. And I think that was about a year ago. And now we've grown it to almost 1,100. And I do put a lot of energy and effort. I try to be consistent and show up and, spark questions and give trainings, business trainings, and share the interviews on there, and really just trying to create this sisterhood, really, is what the goal is.
Epic. Yeah, that's really cool. And you've interviewed a lot of DJs. I mean, tell me a bit about some of the best advice that you've got, or some of the things that stuck with you, or the women that really stood out.
Oh, that's hard. There's been over 40 of them. And I mean, I've had eight from Zambia, Africa. I've got connected with South Africa now. It's amazing.
Wow.
A couple things that stood out was I kind of like this one. One woman said to raise your prices every year. Now, I'm a businesswoman. I love business. It excites me. So she's like, raise your prices every year. And then also, to prevent burnout, is to charge more. Because I keep my wedding season open for weddings. I don't take a $400 job. I don't put that into contract for a wedding season, because I can do a $1,500 to $2,000 day. So I've learned to keep my schedule open for that, and that marketing for weddings during the right time of year, because that's the priority as far as business. But then during the winter, when people aren't getting married, that's when I go throw a party, like a theme party, like an 80s onesie party at the bar, just for fun and just to show my face locally.
That's really cool. That's good advice. And do you find like festival season kind of clashes with weddings? Do you just prioritize weddings at that time?
Yeah, it did. So there's one in particular, and it's called Northern Nights, and it's more of like a EDM style festival right here in the Redwoods, close to home. And they booked me, and I had a wedding already booked that weekend. So I just let them know, look, I'm available like this day, like what is it? I think I wanted to do it after the wedding, because I don't want to do the festival and then go do a wedding. So that was a little hard. Yeah, but make it work.
Okay, obviously I need to ask you about the book. So you're a best-selling author. You've written this book, How to Start a DJ Business. Again, like, you're really giving a lot of yourself out and like helping people. It's really like amazing to see. So thank you for that. And tell me a bit about the book.
Yeah, so I've had a business coach for 5 years, and that's when I really got serious about DJing and marketing and growing this business and doing things more, legit. Like, I was kind of just winging it and DJing around for years, and had two kids that were small. And so once I had my business coach, after a couple years with her, I got really serious. I made space in my life. I put my clothing line on the back burner, and I said, I'm just going to go full on DJing. And we were strategizing about ways to take the business online. And I created a digital course, and then we turned that into the book, with adding like my story to the book. So the book is about my journey into motherhood and entrepreneurship, and tells some of my reggae stories. It talks about how I got robbed at knife point in Jamaica when I was 18 going to buy records.
Wow, that's crazy. Jamaica's a crazy place.
It can be, yeah, it's very crazy. I've been back a couple times, but every time a total different experience than the other. So yeah, so I wrote the book, How to Start a DJ Business, and it's pretty introductory information, pretty basic. It's good for anyone, really. It's an easy read. And I was really surprised. I ranked #1 in the department of like art and photography short reads. And I was like, yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. That's really, really cool. So did it take you a long time to write the book? Did you enjoy it, or were you like, I'm done with writing books now? That was hard.
It actually was very quick because
Oh,
I think it was about 3 weeks where I was writing the scripts for the digital course, also called How to Start a DJ Business. And then I just had to really focus in and just write the story. And it was a little confusing for me because I don't feel like I'm the best writer. My writing confidence isn't high. I didn't have an editor. I didn't have a proofreader. I was doing it through the holidays. I was in New York visiting our family, and I was the only one working. Like all of my coaches in the community, like that I lean on for support, they were not working. They were taking time off, and I was just working, and I needed someone to proofread it. So I found someone online, hired them. They did it on Christmas. I had to submit it the day before New Year's Eve, and then it didn't pass because of some formatting issues with the cover. So those little technical things, like, are never my favorite parts of business, but I reached out to a couple people and they helped me get it formatted the right way, and then they accepted it. But it was a journey. It only took about 8 weeks, and uploading it into Amazon, where they print them for you and self-published through Amazon, was easy. It was pretty easy.
okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, I'll just do a couple more questions for you because I know you're really busy. So, first of all, I wanted to ask just about like being a female DJ. I mean, I think I saw a statistic which really shocked me, and I think it's something like we only make up about 18% of DJs. Like, it's really, there's a big imbalance between men and women in the DJ scene. So, why do you think that is, and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm very curious about those statistics too, because I've heard that it's under 10% or, it's under 18. Um, well, I think what took me so long to do it was even my neighbor gave me turntables in high school, and I had records. I bought all the Madonna records as a kid. My dad had a record player, but I never set it all up because back then there were like lots of parts, like an amp and the speakers, and everything was really heavy. And so like I never set it up because of technology maybe. And then once music went digital, it was like, oh yeah, it's on. I'm building this library. That's the first step, is building your music library and then playlists, and then you get into equipment. So I think maybe a little bit of intimidation of the equipment. I think going way back, now things have changed, but going way back, the roles of the woman in the home were
Mm.
more of stay home with the kids.
Yeah.
Um, Now that's changed a lot, which is amazing, and lots of women entrepreneurs and more female DJs coming into it. Um, I would love to see more female DJs, and that's part of my mission of all the work that I do with like the online show and my new podcast launching and the female DJ group. It's just really to share our stories, to inspire others to start doing it, to DJ, to turn it into a business. Like, you're welcome. You're welcome here. I've been bullied in a different DJ group by men.
Wow, that's hard.
Actually, they gave me a really hard time because I did not capitalize the J in DJ, which is like, who cares?
Yeah, I know. I've known people like that, or I've written vinyls with an S on the end, and people have gone, "Oh, that is not a correct word. Like, it's vinyl plural," and it's just like, and then you just see loads of other people doing the same thing you did, and you're just like, okay, I'm not going to be that person and comment on them.
Exactly. Just ignore them.
Yeah, no, it is bad. But yeah, so yeah, there is an imbalance. I don't know. I think you can use it to your advantage. Like, I mean, strike while the iron's hot in a way, and just say like, okay, I don't know exactly why there's not a lot of women here, but because there's not, then that makes me like, that's a unique selling point for us, and it's really good to have that because it's so competitive. So there's a plus side and a downside, I guess.
Yeah, I've had nothing but good experiences as being a female DJ. I mean, it also helps that my husband is the other like main DJ in our community, but I haven't had any bad experiences. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it up now. Thank you so much for talking to me. And yeah, final question really, like, what's lined up for the future?
Oh, so many good things are coming. We are launching my new podcast in a couple days on July 7th, the Royal Queens Rising podcast. And this has been a project that I've been working on for 2 years. So when I first started interviewing female DJs, and I called it an online show, and I did it live on Facebook, and it's grown and evolved, and I've learned a lot. So we're taking that and those interviews and doing fresh interviews, and that's part of the launch. But it's more than that. We're going to have business trainings, guest speakers, all kinds of stuff, mixes. But we're starting simple with just the interviews for now. So really excited for that. We have like DJ Dana, DJ Nikki, DJ Kristen, Stephanie Stardust, Keyless, a lot from the US, DJ Margot. I definitely have, plans and guests lined up from all over the world. Like I said earlier, I've interviewed 8 women from Zambia, Africa. Like something is going on over there. I cannot wait to get there.
Excellent.
Yeah. And
Nice.
so the podcast is launching, and I'm launching a new group coaching program. I'm going to be doing that here in the next month also. And I've signed up for my first online radio show. So once the podcast launches, then I can move on to the next thing, because I have to remind myself, focus on the step you're in, because I'll get overwhelmed because I'm super ambitious and have big dreams and goals, and like
yeah.
think I could do it all, but then I get really tired, or my kids, they need to be a part too. So yeah.
Excellent. So reach for the stars then. That sounds amazing, and good luck with everything you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Go to my website to claim your free gift, a digital copy of my best-selling book, How to Start a DJ Business. www.djrundat.com. Follow me on all social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at DJ RunDat. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. To learn how you can book me or work with me, go to my website or email me at michelle@djrundat.com.